Okay, clear. So I'm not so technical as Steven. So can you explain a little bit? So how much storing capacity is there in that hardware section where you can store keys? You know, is there
Yeah.
like gigabytes, megabytes? I don't know.
Yeah. So the way these devices work, they're very
Mm,
small.
mm-hmm.
They and actually want less code is better than more code. The more
Yeah.
lines of code you write, the more opportunity there is for an error.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so in general, the way they work is that they seal secrets. So
Mm-hmm.
we can use the storage of the device. We can encrypt a secret key. We can write it out to the storage, but
Mm-hmm.
it only can be pulled back in and decrypted inside the trusted execution vault. And so
Okay.
actually we have the full storage of the device to store information, to
Yeah.
store data, to even store keys. So you could have thousands of keys on
Okay.
a smartphone
But you process it then in that hardware section
in the vault,
in
right?
the vault.
Exactly.
Okay. Clear. Clear. And
And the
just.
reason what makes the vault safe, this is important because this is core to what we're building. What makes the vault safe is that it is possible to test the vault and see if its signatures match so that when you turn on your phone, all the way from the hardware manufacturer's root keys, all the way up through the process where Rivetz is actually processing some data,
Mm-hmm.
each step of that stack is measured with a signature. And those signatures are chained together, very much like a blockchain. And if the top signature is the same as yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
then the platform hasn't changed. And so what we're doing is we're recording that health and integrity test
Mm-hmm.
of the hardware, and we're binding it directly into the blockchain transaction that's being done. So we can say, before you do the blockchain transaction, let's test and make sure
Yeah.
that your hardware security is running the way you, as an owner, expect it to run. And if it
Mm-hmm.
is, then fantastic, we'll process the transaction. If not, let's stop and have a look around and, oh, you just updated your phone yesterday. Well, are you sure you updated it correctly? Let's go check this. Maybe you're willing to now go do a little bit more work before you go process your $1 million transaction.
Mm-hmm. And on which blockchain technology are you connecting Rivetz, or is it independent?
So in general, it's very independent.
Mm-hmm.
Our objective is to support what we're calling a machine multi-sig. So
Mm-hmm.
realistically, we can add this security to any of the existing tokens or different chains that are in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
What we did last October was we demonstrated a year ago that we could modify the existing Bitcoin protocol and
Okay.
actually support a fully integrated into the script transaction, so that as part of actually constructing a payment, you would test the embedded integrity. So I think you can do the whole spectrum from it's completely separate and it's just sort of an external multi-sig to
Mm-hmm.
it's built into the chain transaction. And so we'll work with the different chains to incorporate that. Rivetz itself is going to use a blockchain to store registration data, attestation data around how our system operates.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll support at least two implementations, one designed much more for enterprise and more of a private chain, and one designed as a cloud service that we just offer that anybody in the public can use.
Okay, clear. So maybe this question is a stupid question now, but I just want to understand if we are moving forward to an environment. Gartner forecasted that by 2020 there will be approximately 30 billion devices connected to the IoT. Per
Mm-hmm.
2025, 75 billion, and per 2030 there will be 1 trillion devices connected to the IoT. So don't you foresee any, let's say, constraints right now with Bitcoin or the Ethereum network in terms of transactions? Yeah? So let's say in 2030, 1 trillion devices are connected. They need to connect with your device, our device, via Rivetz to send over keys. So at minimum, I would say, pure an assumption, in 1 second there could be already billions of transactions that are required to send over to the blockchain. Or is this a wrong interpretation from my end?
No, I think you're completely right.
Yeah.
But let's break it down into three different pieces.
Okay.
The first piece is I was having a conversation in 1998 about whether or not we could support DVD quality video on the internet. And everybody basically said, there is absolutely no flipping way. It's not going to be possible. The entire global telecommunications world will melt to the ground, and there'll be nothing but pools of copper because we cannot move enough bits to ever deliver adequate video. Mm-hmm. They were wrong. We're talking to each other. Okay?
Yeah. So, in high quality.
That is how you construct diamonds. The slow, lengthy application of pressure and money eventually produces cool things.
Yeah.
And so I am not worried that the aggregate blockchain community with $1.5 billion of new ICO money and more probably to come will easily solve over the next 20 years the scaling problem for the billions of devices.
Yeah.
The second problem, however, is more interesting, which is all these devices are going to want to talk to each other.
Exactly.
Excellent. So as a human, you would like your devices to automatically talk to each other, not ask dad for permission every time they want to do something.
Yeah.
So we're going to want our devices to be able to spend money. So what we need to be able to do is to give the device money that is properly stored, and then we need appropriate parental controls.
Yeah.
Actually, this is even more than parental controls because we're telling robots, not children, what to do.
Exactly.
And with your robots, you want absolute and complete total master of the universe control over your robots. The robots do not get an opinion. And so that kind of value is what we're calling money with policy. So inside a trusted execution container, inside the vault, I can hold value, and then I can give it rules that says, oh, you can only spend this money on Thursday afternoon from the hour of 3 to 4 and only on this one service. Because if we don't give it rules, then any good-looking bot that wanders by is going to be able to extract money from your device.
Yeah.
And so we actually think that Rivetz we use security as the entry point into the market, but really this is about building a foundation for machine money with policy so that those billions of devices can all have an allowance. And so you'll be happy to give your device $4 or $5 in an allowance to talk to other services, to request other things, to spend money on all of these different protocols and infrastructure and utilities that are going to be built out of crypto. If I do not put the money in a vault and I don't involve the human, then software will steal all the money.
True.
And so we think Rivetz has a very important long-term play, which is how do we today with security and infrastructure start, but then slowly help the humans move to the point where, I can just give my car a few dollars so that it can talk to this protocol of Internet of Things and buy a few bits over here and do microtransactions. And the final point is that once you put a trust agent inside a device, it's like putting a smart contract inside hardware. They're similar in construct. And so we can aggregate and meter transactions. So I used the example when we first talked about selling bullets in Doom at 1/10,000th of a cent a bullet.
Yeah.
We did it offline in hardware. So we had stored value. We ran a little meter. And so it's like the gas pump. You go to fuel your car. Does it charge your credit card for every 1/10 of a liter that's put in your car? No, the transaction system can't support that. It has a metering system inside the pump. You fill your car. It says, 42 liters of fuel in your car.
Yeah.
You're in the Netherlands. 20 liters of fuel in your car.
Well, no, my car needs 70.
and then it does a single transaction at the end. And so using a device to securely measure. Now, if you look at that fuel pump, there's always a sticker on the outside of the gas pump. Next time you're pumping gas, you'll see the sticker that's over the access panel on the pump. That's because someone comes and checks to see whether the pump actually is measuring 1 liter or not. and they certify it. And that ongoing integrity and health test is exactly what Rivetz is trying to do inside the trusted execution environment to assure that no one has altered or tampered with the security mechanism within the hardware.
Yeah. So this is really a security that is device based, huh? So I cannot, let's say, transfer the same keys and all that in one device to another device. Yeah, it depends on the use case, of course, huh?
Yeah. But we actually think that what's important is not that you have one device, but you probably own more than one device, a phone, a PC, and something else. We think your identity is not your single superphone. There's a trusted execution environment in your laptop.
True.
Can we make them talk to each other? So if I add a service to my phone, should it automatically add to my laptop? Or do I need my phone in order to make my laptop work? No, my laptop is plenty big. It's plugged into the wall. It has plenty of power. So we think your collection of devices is your identity, not your single superphone. So if you lose your phone, your other devices can reach out and either turn it off or have the backup and recovery of the keys. Not some central service, but your collection of devices is your identity, is your recovery. Now, we think getting one person, getting yourself, an early adopter of technology to put this in their 5 devices, fantastic.
Yeah.
But if I can have it extend to the other members of your household, then it's about the household's collection of devices. And so this is how the blockchain enables the household's collection of devices to talk to each other securely and to give each other commands and or services. And so on the long-term basis, this really helps to change how our things are going to talk to each other and be able to do it remotely and not bound by just where is my Wi-Fi access point. It moves from a ports and password model of how our things talk to each other, a device identity and messaging model. Think of it more like all of my devices are friends on Facebook and can use WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That model is going to be way easier to explain to the millennials how to set up the home network than it is, oh, here's your Wi-Fi hotspot and here's your ports. And by the way, if you wanted the baby cam to go to grandma's house, you got to open a port in your Wi-Fi hotspot through your router. Now, what's your router password? Now, you type in your router password, you open a port. Now, grandma can watch. Oh, my God. Why can't I just take the baby cam and make it friends with grandma's phone?
Exactly.
Over a secure channel so that only grandma's phone can watch the baby cam. Oh, that would be brilliant. Let's do that with good security because it's top secret classified data. Because, I don't know, I put video cameras on my children when they were growing up 20 years ago, and the first thing the children do in their crib is take all their clothes off.
Yeah, these things happen,
Right.
And they need to be secured, of course. Yeah, you have some crazy people. Data. Exactly.
So we want the world's best security for that channel, as is appropriate for our children. Yet at the same time, we want grandma to be able to watch the children, sleeping if that's what we want to do.
Yeah, perfect.